obviously I wanted to play golf. Like, I grew up in England. I came to America on a scholarship because my aspiration was to play the European Tour. And then once I got to America, it was like the PGA Tour. And I think I'd always had kind of this affinity for like the swing and coaching and teaching, and tinkering is probably the best way to say it. That's probably, which is a dangerous road to go, right?
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
St. Louis's defense, the best in conference play, which includes the best three-point shooting percentage against and also two-point shooting percentage against. You take a look at Loyola's offense, we pointed out to you the worst in conference play, and also they turn the basketball over 22% of the time, which basically means 1 out of every 4 times up the court, Joe, they don't even get a shot off. They're going to get their doors blown off tonight.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
Hour number 2 officially underway. The Early Line right here on the SportsGrid Network. It's your boy DRS. It's your boy Joe Ranieri. And yes, we are excited here. We'll put graphics on the screen, Joe, whenever we want to get the people excited. I'm under an avalanche here in the Northeast. You're down in South Florida, the best of both worlds. But the energy, Joe, is always high as we're ready to go to keep your week started off in style for hour number 2.
I can't wait, Donnie. It's a big week. Not the biggest of card coming up tonight, but I'm looking forward to it, Donnie, because I think we got amazing. Even though it's only a small card, but there are 2 really big college basketball games here tonight. So a lot to be decided. And don't sleep on Detroit and San Antonio. Is Detroit as good as we all think they are? I think we're going to find that out here tonight.
Yeah, limited access in the NBA 3 games, but they're giving you the banger right off the bat at 7 o'clock. Yep. And we already went over the 2 games in college basketball, which will be very good, and the focus will be at 9 o'clock. So really good NBA game, Joe, at 7. Really good college game at 9. So it sets up well here. That come down off of the Olympics where it's like, okay, what else do I have to watch? Give me some good stuff to sort of dip into. By the way, this weekend we didn't talk about, too, NCAA action. In Washington, Duke taking on Michigan here, a titanic battle, a rock fight all the way down the stretch, which Duke pulled out. So you got some exciting times. And also, Joe, from yesterday, 3 weeks away from Selection Sunday for NCAA action, and away we go into the tournament. So great times ahead. But let's get back to the Olympics and how they finished up. Sunday morning, grabbing your cup of coffee. Yes, it was early, but you waited for it, and you got exactly what you wanted, depending if you're a Canadian fan or a Team USA guy. 2-1 Team USA in overtime, pulls off the slight upset over Canada and lifts the gold medal for the first time, Joe, since 1980.
Huge. I mean, absolutely huge. And it gave us everything you could possibly hope for. I mean, that's it. Missing teeth and everything. I mean, that there is a meme for generations to come, Donnie. It's just truly amazing. And you know what? Now, I think the NHL and the future of hockey in the United States is in good hands here, in really, really good hands.
In really good hands, even on the women's side as well, Joe. Also winning in overtime against Canada here. Canada got that early goal to go up 1-0. The ice was tilted the whole way. Canada hung on until that final moments here where a deflection goal sends that into overtime. 3-on-3, a fantastic dangle goal for the women's side as well. 2 gold medals, Team USA, men's and women, fantastic stuff across the board. They did play golf yesterday, Joe. It was beautiful out at Riviera yesterday. And Bridgman comes away with the victory here. There were a couple guys surging over that back nine, but he held them off, takes down that big paycheck at Riviera. And I did see Tiger roaming the golf course, smiling around. It looks like he's also back on the mend as well.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, we'll know in a couple of weeks if he's going to be at Augusta, but Bridgman going back-to-back 64s in round 2 and 3 kind of put himself in a position where he didn't need to do a whole heck of a lot on Sunday, except just not come back to the pack there. And listen, he held everyone off, but big win. And actually 2 weeks in a row, Donnie, where he's actually looked apart for sure.
How about this, Joe? A lot of big energy out there a year ago when the Philadelphia Eagles were running roughshod with the tush push. It's not fair. They won the Super Bowl. It's unstoppable. Then the following year, the entire offensive line gets hurt. They can't do it. And everyone's like, okay, it's all fun to do it now, which includes Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills, who does it damn near every time. I don't want to see the tush push ban because I think it's good really for offense, Joe, where if you're in 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, you go for it because you can know you could get it, keep the football, and scoring goes higher. But it's interesting where so many people were crying last year, and now NFL teams are like, it's no big deal. Let's just keep it in the system.
Yeah, shocking, right? Because now finally the rest of the NFL is caught up with how to utilize it and how to now all of a sudden nobody's complaining because the Eagles haven't been using it to win another Super Bowl. It's kind of kind of hypocritical, Donnie, but it's amazing it took the NFL and a copycat league so long to figure out that, we can work with this. We're okay with this.
Tyrese Halliburton, he's been away from the team, rehabbing that Achilles injury, but also not coming down with shingles. He can't even be around the boys for a couple of weeks now. Speedy recovery is what they're hoping for.
Yeah, and pain, though, man. I mean, adult chicken pox basically is, I don't even know how that happened, but it's not great. But again, staying away from the team, this is a wash year for the Pacers anyway. This is all about next year, so he's got plenty enough time to get over the shingles as well.
Joe, I see plenty of videos, plenty of photos, Gulfstream jets all over the place, and I'm buying buildings for my grandkids here. And let me go sit down at this huge kitchen table and just spread hundreds all around it. I am living the life. I got a ton of money. I think I need to fight Mike Tyson to get a little bit more money in my pocket here. Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson. I don't know if anybody asked for it, but it's going to take place, Joe.
Yeah, and please let Mike Tyson just lay him out once, right? The guy that notoriously, right, has never been, you're not knocking me down, I'm not getting knocked out. Like, please just go ahead and do this. But good old Iron Mike, what are we doing here? Like, at least they're close in age as opposed to, the whole Jake Paul Tyson thing here. So maybe, just maybe, we can get a couple more rounds of competitive boxing. It'd be great.
But we don't like things the second time around, Joe, because Tyson getting back into the ring saying, I wonder if he can train. And they did a very good job of marketing that fight where Tyson would train, still had somewhat speed. Like, wow, imagine if he can catch Paul one time here. Then you put Tyson in the ring and he's like biting his glove. And it's like, well, this isn't the same Mike Tyson we anticipated. Yeah, do you think he's going to be 18, 19-year-old Mike Tyson in the ring? And then Tyson got rocked a little bit early in that fight and Paul understood the task. I'm not going to embarrass this guy and drop him here and do brain damage to one of everybody's heroes here. I'll carry him the rest of the fight. Mike Tyson was so appreciative of that. They both got paid. It's like, okay, Mike, you got your payday. We love you. Go back to selling, weed and make a ton of money and be in every commercial and have your podcast. We love you. Then he jumps back in the ring. But we already saw it. So what's Floyd? First of all, Floyd Mayweather's probably still quick as all can be. I don't know how Mike Tyson's even going to connect with Floyd Mayweather. And Mayweather is not going to be like, you know what? I'm going to stand toe-to-toe with Tyson and try to knock him out. I don't know who's going to watch this fight, but I find myself saying, Joe, I'll probably tune in, right? Is it Netflix? Are they going to do it on Netflix? Because then we'll tune in.
Yeah. Of course we're going to do it there. But what they should really do is transition any of these, retired boxers out. Just put him in a slap fight. Isn't that still league, Donnie? Can't we? I would pay for that in a heartbeat. Let him go, man. Let's go with the slap fight and see what happens.
Crazy, crazy stuff here. But by the way, Rondell Moore, 25 years old, NFL player, superstar at Purdue, passes away allegedly here from a gunshot wound, suicide. Can't say it enough. You never understand. You could be the happiest-go-lucky person. You're putting that big smile on your face. And when you go home, sometimes some of those demons come out. And we also think like, oh, how bad could his life have been as an NFL player? You never know what's going through people's minds at times. Check in on your friends. Make sure they're okay. But that's just a sad story. 25-year-old kid gone way too soon, Joe.
Yeah, it's just awful on so many levels for his family, for his teammates, anybody that's ever played with him. And you know, everyone has always said, I mean, one of the nicest guys in the world. Like, you just never know what people are going through. So, you know, be cordial and be nice to everybody, because that's just it's a terrible loss all the way around.
How about this one, Joe? The legendary 1909 Sweet Copperall T206 Hannes Wagner card just sold for $5.124 million. Can you imagine? Like, grandpa, great-grandpa, we're going through his stuff. We're having a sale. Let me just go through some of these cards he has. Hey, this looks like an interesting card. Let me see how much it's worth. Oh, yeah, it's worth $5 million. Hannes Wagner. Boy, I wish I could find one of those in my attic, or have my great-grandfather say, you know what, man? I passed this down from generations, and you know what? Ain't going to go another generation, because I'd be selling it. How about that?
Listen, I go to I shop at Goodwill stores looking for Picassos and Honus Wagner cards that might have slipped through. So you always hear those stories, and you're like, wow, so you bought a $5 Picasso and had no idea what you had, huh? Why can't we get that lucky?
Yeah, once we got to like the late 80s, everybody started collecting cards, and everybody has a million Ken Griffey Jr.'s, not worth anything at this point. But I could just imagine like some of those kids in like the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, like, hey, here's baseball cards, we'll bend them, we'll throw them around, not knowing that in 100 years, they're worth hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars there. We'll be right back after the short break. More hot topics on the way.
Obviously, I wanted to play golf. Like, I grew up in England. I came to America on a scholarship because my aspiration was to play the European Tour. And then once I got to America, it was like the PGA Tour. And I think I'd always had kind of this affinity for like the swing and coaching and teaching, and tinkering is probably the best way to say it. I'd say that's probably, which is a dangerous road to go, right?
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Louis's defense, the best in conference play, which includes the best three-point shooting percentage against and also two-point shooting percentage against. You take a look at Loyola's offense, we pointed out to you the worst in conference play, and also they turn the basketball over 22% of the time, which basically means 1 out of every 4 times up the court, Joe, they don't even get a shot off. They're going to get their doors blown off tonight.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this, and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
NBA news and notes right here on a Monday morning on the Early Line. Donnie right side, it is Joe Ranieri. It's a SportsGrid Network. It's how we get down. And also, don't know how Tyrese Halliburton's getting down right now. We brought it up a few times on the show, but he is going to be down for a couple weeks and away from the team in his rehab process. And also, Joe, if anyone's like, what is actually shingles? Grok defines it as a painful rash caused by reactivation of the Varicella zoster virus, the same one that causes chickenpox. It typically affects one side of the body with symptoms like itching, tingling, and blisters. Risks increase with age here or weakened immunity. Rare in people young as Tyrese Halliburton, but there you go, Joe. We gave the people the answer of exactly what shingles is.
Adult chicken pox, Donnie, and everybody that I know that has had it it's way more painful as an adult than it is as a when you get it as a kid. So, and there's no guarantee that you won't get it as an adult, even if you had it as a kid. So it's something to keep an eye on. But it's certainly recoverable. And since we weren't going to see him on the court anyway, he's got plenty enough time to be able to get up and over that.
One of the all-time sights there in the 1980s was Pat Riley standing on the sideline here of the Showtime Lakers wearing those expensive Armani suits. Now he's immortalized into Lakers history here by getting his own statue outside of Crypto.com Arena. A lot of famous statues there. Well-deserved. One of the true icons of the game. Now with his own statue for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, and they promptly went out and in a great fashion got blown out by the Celtics last night. Yeah, that's great. Way to represent Pat that in one of the greatest, those Showtime Lakers were still some of the greatest teams ever. But it's actually a really cool statue, and I don't know what took so long, if we're being completely honest here, because he is one of the most legendary coaches in the game, and especially when it came to the Lakers.
Yep, Lakers know what they're doing here, right? Say, you know what? Watch this. We're going to have a good day today. We're going to have Pat Riley. We're going to honor him. We're going to give him his statue here. We got a big-time basketball game that we're going to play a little bit later on the court. And, even though we got smacked on the court, we had the Riley thing. We're going to raise ticket prices next year for the season. How about that? Sneak that right in there, Joe.
Well, I mean, it is going to be the LeBron farewell tour, right? So, I mean, it's probably worth the price of admission just to see him get showered with flowers every night and gifts from opposing teams. Can you believe that, Donnie? Unbelievable.
There you go. And will LeBron James actually be playing 41 home games for the Lakers next year, or just come into town once or twice with the Cleveland Cavaliers? That's a lot to be laid out. But the one thing we know about King James, he's played a lot of basketball here. How about this? The second player in NBA history to reach 1,600 games. And by the way, Robert Parrish has played 1,611. He's going to pass that as well. LeBron been around for a minute, as we like to say.
Hot minute. Yeah, there's a lot of rubber meets the road there with him, Donnie. That's a lot of basketball he's played for a very, very long time. You don't rack up those kinds of numbers by playing for 8 years, I'll tell you that.
No, but you don't rack up those numbers. It's supposed to get smashed at home by the Boston Celtics last night, Joe. Exactly. That final score, 111-89. How about Peyton Pritchard? 30-8 out there for Showtime. By the way, Lakers only 89 points. How about this, Joe? 22 in the second, 21 in the third, and 18 in the fourth. It was like they just got tired, man.
Yeah, no, it was Sunday. It was a long day. They were probably all up early watching Team USA win. So, they had an excuse there, Donnie. What'd you expect them to do?
Thunder at home, no excuse to start winning more basketball games. 44-14 now in the season with a 121-113 victory over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Close game all the way through at this point. Fun game to watch. The Thunder, just a better team, won by 8.
Yeah. Well, Thunder are, their goal now is to just get healthy and make another run at it right now. In the meantime, they'll certainly go ahead and win, 60-plus games here, Donnie, when it's all said and done. They went from setting the record for the most wins of a franchise to, all right, well, we'll get 60 or more. And, again, it's all about being healthy, though, heading into the postseason for them.
And by the way, I didn't see this one coming right here for the Philadelphia 76ers. The night before got dropped by the horrible New Orleans Pelicans. Then you go on the road and you got to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves here at this point. And the Sixers easily won this game, 135-108, which started with a 35-point first quarter here. Tyrese Maxey, 39 points, 16 of 28 from the floor. And VJ Edgecombe, the good young rookie here, 24 points show, which included 6 for 7 from downtown. The Sixers with a must-needed victory because we don't ever know if Joel Embiid is coming back to the Sixers.
I agree, Donnie, and I thought it was great across the board there for them. That was a big win. They hadn't looked all that great prior, but they looked pretty good. They looked the role there last night for sure.
How about Nikola Jokic and the boys? Like, hey, how are they going to factor last night? Well, they factored well for Nikola Jokic. By the way, if I told you before the game, Jokic is going to take on the Warriors. The Warriors really don't have anybody in their lineup, and Jokic is going to go 35, 20, and 12. And then I go, Joe, oh, yeah, the Nuggets, they still lost by double digits. What an effort by the Warriors. 128 to 117, that victory over the Nuggets. Impressive.
The Denver Nuggets are unbettable, Donnie. They have no defense whatsoever, and they only play half a game. It's the most unbelievable thing I have seen here. This is a team that is literally just waiting to get Aaron Gordon back, and the regular season cannot end quick enough here. They've already won enough games, Donnie. They don't care being a 1 seed, 2 seed, doesn't matter. They are just going through the motions. They can stop nobody. So only play the Nuggets to the over because they are playing zero defense right now.
It's crazy, too, that West Coast. You open up and you get a loss out of the break, and then it's all saying, okay, we got the Trailblazers on a back-to-back here. They beat the Trailblazers by like 50.
Yeah.
Then they show up there for Golden State, don't play any defense, blow a late lead in that game. And it wasn't like, hey, well, it's Klay Thompson, it's Draymond Green, it's Kevin Durant, it's Steph Curry. Like, no, nobody was on that court except Brandon Podziemski in the fourth quarter. And he was doing a lot of damage
and
at
Al
this
Horford.
point. But again, yeah, exactly. I mean, the old-timers and the young guys that nobody knows about doing a lot of damage at that point. But sometimes that's just the way it goes through. 3 games tonight, Joe, in the association. The main game, San Antonio Spurs and the Detroit Pistons. 1.5-point favorite for the Pistons at home versus those San Antonio Spurs and the alien, Victor Wembanyama.
I'm looking very forward to this game. I mean, it's a litmus test, right? All right, you're the best team in the East, but how do you compare against the teams in the West, the best of the West? We're going to find that out here tonight, I think.
We are going to find that out. You know what else we're going to find out here? How Polymarket and Kalshi work, because each and every day on this show, we like to spend a little time talking about those predictive markets. We're going to do that next. Joe Ranieri, signing rights at the SportsGrid Network, and the early line early on a Monday morning. We'll be right back after this short break.
Obviously, I wanted to play golf. Like, I grew up in England. I came to America on a scholarship because my aspiration was to play the European Tour. And then once I got to America, it was like the PGA Tour. And I think I'd always had kind of this affinity for like the swing and coaching and teaching, and tinkering is probably the best way to say it. I'd say that's probably, which is a dangerous road to go, right?
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Lewis's defense, the best in conference play, which includes the best 3-point shooting percentage against and also 2-point shooting percentage against. You take a look at Loyola's offense, we pointed out to you the worst in conference play, and also they turn the basketball over 22% of the time, which basically means 1 out of every 4 times up the court, Joe, they don't even get a shot off. They're going to get their doors blown off tonight.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
Taking out contracts here. What contracts? Took an NHL contracts, took an NBA contracts? No, the predictive markets, Kalshi and Poly Market. Donnie writes out along with Joe Ranieri. We love to spend some time in these markets to see if there's some things we can take advantage of here. Let's talk women's college basketball and the champion here. Most people expect that to be UConn, Joe, trading in a 68% chance. A $100 investment on the women's college basketball champion being UConn, that pays back $148. But you can get some bonus bargains on some other teams here, Joe. UCLA, 14%. South Carolina and Dawn Staley, 10%. Texas and LSU trading at 9% and 6%. But, Joe, the question always comes back to UConn. Does it make sense to fade UConn? Should you take UConn now or take a couple no contracts after on UConn and try to get paid if they get knocked off?
I would not be betting against UConn in any way, shape, or form. There are some things you do and you don't do, and I am not taking a flyer fading UConn in any way, shape, or form here. Gino's been doing this too long. The pipeline is too strong, and they know how to win games when it matters the most. So I think at that price, that's who I would be backing.
All right, you ready for this time? And this is what we love. Like DraftKings and FanDuel aren't going to give you the perspective or enough to even let you invest or actually bet here. How about this question on Kalshi, which you can invest in, Joe? How many games will be played in pro women's basketball this season, which is the WNBA? First topic, 100% of the total games played. If you want to bet the yes, that's trading at 99%, which only makes $102 back, which is $2. Say, where can I bet the no? You can't bet the no. They're not giving you any advantages on that here. 90%, which is trading at 34%. 99%, if you want to bet the yes, you still can't bet the no. But here's where it starts to get interesting, Joe. At least 75% of the total games played, trading at 45%. The yes is at 97%. The no is actually at 50%. I don't think we're getting, Joe, 75% of the total games being played. I really don't.
I don't think so either, Donnie. I think you'd be lucky if you get half, and I think that's the ceiling. Because to me, I think we could go, and the season's supposed to start, May, right? I think May 8th, somewhere along those lines. You may not get it until the very end. You may not get it at all, too, Donnie. I'm still skeptical that they come to any agreement at this point.
Yeah, you can go all the way down to 25%, but if we're looking at 75% of the total games being played, because I do have that same opportunity, let's just say, in Major League Baseball. I do think there's, the season is not going to be a whole. Now, it'd be really interesting, Joe, if they blew the entire season away, because sooner than later, both sides want to get paid, at least recoup some money, where it's like, let's take those hardline stances, and then, hey, we have till next Tuesday, where if we don't come to an agreement, we have no season. That's when you see the agreements come down, or even just let's do a one-year CBA, get out there and try to revisit this next year. Games will be missed. It's just interesting to see how many of those actual games we missed, but also on the Kalshi market, you can invest in it if you get some of that knowledge. And also, Joe, we talk about you don't have to actually cash it in. If it looks like they're not even coming to the table, those numbers on those contracts that you take out for we won't play over 75% of the games, they'll increase day to day as it looks like they won't play any of the games here, and you can cash out at any time. Let's talk about some golf here, Joe. All 4 major golf tournaments, well, what are they asking you for? How about a top 10 finisher? You can bet, Joe, any golfer to actually achieve that. It's trading at 58%. So if you say, yes, I got any one of the golfers to finish top 10 at all 4 tournaments, a $100 wager pays back $176 with that investment. But Scotty Scheffler is listed at 33%. If there is a guy, Joe, that's going to say, you could take the field, if you will, 58%, but that field just feels like it's supposed to be Scotty Scheffler, no?
The only guy I'd bet on it.
Yeah,
To finish top 10 in all 4 majors, no. I wouldn't trust Rory
Man, is that
in
hard.
that spot. I wouldn't trust any of them. Yeah, no, Scheffler's listen, the guy shot, he almost missed the cut and still finished top 12 at Riviera in a golf course that he hates, by the way. So, I no way am I not betting him.
And by the way, when you do take a look at Scotty Scheffler and how it rounds out, it's like, all right, well, it is really hard to win a major. We get that. And staying in the top 10 in all 4 is crazy because of how many different conditions. But understand this, the majors are typically set up to be some of the toughest golf courses in the world. That fits right up on Scotty Scheffler. All right, you expecting me to go shoot 2 or 3 under today? Yeah, no problem. The rest of the field is just struggling to stay in some of those, red numbers at this point. So for me, I don't know if I'd bet any golfer, because the only golfer, as Joe and I were talking about, is Scotty Scheffler to be able to do it. $100 investment on Scotty Scheffler to finish in the top 10 in all 4 majors, Joe, that pays back $304.
I love it. And there's no way I'd bet against this guy. He is the one guy, and all he has to do is, let's say he wins the Masters, Donnie. That number is just going the other way.
And he just has to hang around in those tournaments, which he is going to do. Hang around with us a little bit longer. Why? We got some NFL news and notes coming up next right here on the Early Line.
Obviously, I wanted to play golf. Like, I grew up in England. I came to America on a scholarship because my aspiration was to play the European Tour. And then once I got to America, it was like the PGA Tour. And I think I'd always had kind of this affinity for like the swing and coaching and teaching, and tinkering is probably the best way to say it. I'd say that's probably, which is a dangerous road to go, right?
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Louis's defense, the best in conference play, which includes the best 3-point shooting percentage against and also 2-point shooting percentage against. You take a look at Loyola's offense, we pointed out to you the worst in conference play, and also they turn the basketball over 22% of the time, which basically means 1 out of every 4 times up the court, Joe, they don't even get a shot off. They're going to get their doors blown off tonight.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like, every guy is good. Like, it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
NFL news and notes right here on a Monday morning. Why? Because the NFL never sleeps here. We got to keep you updated on all the hottest topics there throughout the NFL landscape as we come up on an important time of year. Combine season is here, then free agency, and you're going to have the NFL draft, and the way you go to OTAs and all that good stuff here that we love. Before you know it, you'll be watching some action in training camp into the preseason. Then on that opening Thursday night that will include the Seattle Seahawks, the world champions of the NFL. But if we get to some of those news and notes that sometimes isn't of the cheery edition here, NFLPA issues a statement following the passing of Vikings wide receiver Rondale Moore, 25, urging union members to check on their teammates and to prioritize mental health. Quote, in moments like this, we're reminded of how much our plays carry on and off of the field, Joe. Sad times when a 25-year-old man took his life here. You never know what some of these guys are thinking from time to time, and reach out and make sure you can see exactly if you can help at times.
Yeah, you never know what somebody is going through here, Donnie. And, he had been dealing with injuries. It just took its toll on him trying to work his way back. And it's just such a shame because everybody, and I mean everyone that's played with him or knew him, talks about just how he was there for everyone else. So it just goes to show you never know. Guys putting on a face for everyone, and you just don't know what's going on. So yeah, talk to people here. Just listen to what people have to say. That's for sure.
And if you're talking to people throughout the NFL, it looks like, Joe, there's no discussions at this point by the competition committee to ban the tush push. Last year, the Packers wanted to ban it. Then the Packers used to use the tush push. We're not hearing anything about safety from Sean McDermott. Well, he's been fired as the coach for the Buffalo Bills, but Buffalo had a big problem with it, then used it repeatedly in every single game with Josh Allen as the ultimate weapon. So it just seems like when the Eagles are really good at it, everybody hates it. But when everybody else gets a little bit better at it, they love it.
Ah, shocker, right? The way that works here. And I just can't believe it took so long, Donnie, for everyone else to get caught up with it. And the only reason it was ever being even discussed as being eliminated was simply because defenses and teams just couldn't figure it out. But I still don't know the defenses have figured it out, but it feels like more offenses have now put it into their repertoire, which is why we're not getting any more pushback on this.
Joe, a group called Bananarama in 1987 sung this song. I heard a rumor, ooh, ooh, I heard a... Yeah, you get the point here. You know what that rumor is? Aaron Rodgers returning back for one more season with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hallelujah. Or, come on, man.
It's a cruel summer, Donnie. It's a cruel
right back at it.
summer.
All the
My
tunes,
goodness.
All the tunes.
Unreal.
Little Karate Kid.
Cannot believe I even knew that. That is awful. But listen, it could be a cruel summer for the Steelers if Aaron Rodgers is just like, you know what? Kind of went into my sweat box here in Arizona, did myself a little deep, a little ayahuasca, and you know, the gods just don't want me playing anymore. And then what are you going to do, Pittsburgh? So everyone better figure out what's going on in Pittsburgh with their quarter. You bad enough you got McCarthy there as your head coach, but you better figure out, lock in your quarterback sooner rather than later.
It's a cruel, cruel, cruel summer now that you're gone. Fantastic stuff, Joe. Bringing back the hits from 1987, which it feels like Aaron Rodgers has been playing since 1987 at this point. How about JSN? Some people might read this wrong. He says he deserves to be the highest paid wideout in the sport. Well, he actually does, because it's his turn to get paid for a contract extension, and the kid is really good. He's probably going to be the highest paid wide receiver in football, and maybe rightfully so.
Yeah, well, there's absolutely no reason not to extend him here. I mean, I still think the big question is going to be what are they going to do with their running back situation there, because they got a few guys that are due for a payday on that team. But the core, certainly on the defensive side, appears to be locked in, ready to go. So there are some decisions that Seattle has to make for sure.
No, they do. And also understand this. When you win the world championship here, yes, those players got you there, but they get a little bit overinflated. Like, you think you're going to win another Super Bowl without me? Or I don't even know if I should be asking for a contract, but I will since we just won the Super Bowl and you need me. Happens to every single team, but some of those guys deserve to be paid. Just a matter if they're going to get that franchise tag or get that long-term extension here. How about the Dallas Cowboys? They're paying their running back Javonte Williams. Had a very good season last year. 3 years, $24 million, $16 million in guaranteed money. They're keeping Javonte in town in Dallas.
Yeah, they are, and I got news for you, Donnie. I think it's a good move on their part. I really do. You need a running back, and they absolutely have a good one there. They got some other issues they got to worry about there, namely on the other side of the ball. But I think offensively, it's a good move there for the Cowboys.
How about this one? Chiefs head coach Andy Reid update on Travis Kelce. Will he return next season or not? Quote, there is communication. As long as there's communication, Big Red says, I'm good at this point. I would have expected him to hang it up already, because the one thing we know about NFL athletes, there is a timeline involved where you take some time after the season ends. The Chiefs season ended pretty early, much earlier than usual. You're probably back in the gym at this point. You're getting some workouts in to see how that body's going to react. So even though it only is February, I look for this next, 3 weeks or so, where they need to know about who they're going to draft, who they're going to get in free agency, and what's going to take place. They need to get a commitment from Travis Kelce. And also, if you are Travis Kelce, you do owe it to the organization. Don't leave him out to dry. If they need a new tight end, let him know you're going to retire. But right now, I think that needle, Joe, pointing towards more him staying with Kansas City and playing another year for me.
I think a lot of what he's waiting for, what they'll likely is what is going to be Patrick Mahomes' timeline.
Yeah.
Right? How long would he have to play? How long before Mahomes has an absolute shot at coming back next season? Or does he not? And if that's the case, well, then you'll likely know sooner rather than later.
How about this? Always in the news, the NFL ticket. And for years, most people can't get dishes on their house. Therefore, you cannot get into the marketplace and watch it. Now they flip it over to YouTube, and YouTube's like, yeah, you want to pay like $1,000 a year, feels like, go ahead and do it. But how about this? The NFL Sunday Ticket case returns to court for an appeal hearing in 2 weeks with $14.1 billion and the current out-of-market viewing model on the line here. It always seems interesting to me how much you have to pay for that out-of-market experience here just for 16 or 17 weeks on the season. Make it easier for people to watch and just have those stupid commercials and charge more for it so everybody can be happy here. We're never happy with this, Joe. They always hold us hostage.
No, they do. And listen, that goes back even further, Donnie, right? Those are old DirecTV days, too, where it was just impossible. And they've been fighting this in the courts for a long time. I mean, how would you like to be a business owner, right? Own a restaurant or a bar, and then have to take out a loan in order to be able to afford the Sunday Ticket, because those prices were just absurd. So, yeah, this has been, hopefully this comes to a head here and a decision is made moving forward. But this has been hanging up in the courts for a while.
Yeah, most people are like, Joe, what are you talking about? You pay the $400, you get it in. No. If you have a bar capacity that sits 300 people in here, they'll go, okay, that's 300 times 400 for the season. Like, what? I can't even afford to keep my lights on at that point. It's not like you buy one, you get to show it to everybody. It is a racket that the NFL does enjoy, gets a lot of money. It always was interesting to me. Like, let's give it to DirecTV where 95% of the country can't even get it. What kind of monopoly marketplace it is. It's just the NFL. How about this one from Yahoo Sports, Joe? Predicted #1 overall pick for Fernando Mendoza will not throw at the combine this week. Oh, no, Joe. He's going to drop to the 3rd round, isn't he?
No, he's already going to the Raiders. I think we all know this. Everyone needs a quarterback, and he is the only one in this draft, Donnie, that is worthy of that top pick. So I don't think it matters what he does at this point.
Exactly. You're like, just put him in bubble wrap. Say, Fernando, we're not going to see you till draft night here. Go to Cancun, relax. Don't even work out and hurt yourself, because you're going to be the #1 overall pick when it's all said and done. Whether or not he has a good chalk talk with the team or, hey, Joe, did you see him miss that slant pass here? We can't draft him now. He's #1. He's going #1. How about this story, Joe? Finally, did we get a victory here for the NCAA? Tennessee quarterback Joey Aguilar will not receive another year of NCAA eligibility after a judge denied his request for an injunction. The rule marks a win for the NCAA and could deter other players from challenging eligibility rules through state antitrust lawsuits. Now, is he allowed to, Joe, just to go to all 50 states and try a court that will actually give him an injunction so he can play, or is it over?
No, it's never over with these guys. Too much money for it to be over that easily, Donnie.
College basketball coming up next on a Monday. A big Monday right here on the network. We'll be right back. Yeah, what? You can't play 4 years at a JUCO and 5 years at...
Obviously, I wanted to play golf. Like, I grew up in England. I came to America on a scholarship because my aspiration was to play the European Tour. And then once I got to America, it was like the PGA Tour. And I think I'd always had kind of this affinity for like the swing and coaching and teaching, and tinkering is probably the best way to say it. I'd say that's probably, which is a dangerous road to go, right?
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Lewis's defense, the best in conference play, which includes the best 3-point shooting percentage against and also 2-point shooting percentage against. You take a look at Loyola's offense, we pointed out to you the worst in conference play, and also they turn the basketball over 22% of the time, which basically means 1 out of every 4 times up the court, Joe, they don't even get a shot off. They're going to get their doors blown off tonight.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, the NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. in the Olympics, like every guy is good. Like it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
Let's get you caught up on a Monday here in college basketball. Big weekend overall and two really good games tonight. And as I pointed out already, Joe Ranieri, from yesterday, which was Sunday, 3 weeks to Selection Sunday, one of the greatest days here. And away we go into the field of, I don't know, was it 64, 68, 72, soon to be 76? We'll find out if they do expand the tournament in the upcoming years. But St. John's, they've been on a win streak, Joe, on Saturday, easily dispatching of Creighton. 81-52 here, 13 straight wins for the Johnnies. And they'll be facing UConn on Wednesday for a big-time battle in the Big East.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and they got it done once already, right? So there we go. Are they going to be able to do it, sweep the season series here? It's going to be interesting, but they are rolling right now, the Johnnies, and they're doing it at a ridiculous pace. They play physical basketball. It's actually fun. It's classic Pitino basketball, and it's working really well for the Johnnies.
By the way, last week, did you really hamstring that one in there, Joe? You took Creighton getting major points in an upset victory, and the very next night they get dropped by 30 a couple nights later. Good call by you, Joe. Get them at the right time here as it is. And you watched the game on Saturday night, which is perfect timing, Joe. I think it started at 6 o'clock. Duke, 68-63, low scoring over Michigan. That was as good as a game you're going to get from crowd participation on a neutral court. It really felt Michigan fans were bringing it. Duke fans have a big East Coast bias here. They end up winning that game by 5 points. Great stuff. And by the way, that was number 1 versus number 3, not even in the same conference playing. Those big-time battles we'll tune in for probably got good ratings, and Duke came out ahead, 25-2 now on the season.
It was a great litmus test for both, right? Listen, that game there, as great as it was to see this late in the regular season, it's not really going to make a big difference as far as what happens to these two teams. They're both likely going still to be number 1 seeds come March Madness. But I think it was a good test for both because inevitably they're likely going to face each other in March Madness.
A lot of young superstars in college basketball, man. Great times here and looking forward to that tournament that is going to be coming up here. How about Arizona and Houston? Arizona goes on the road and takes down Houston. 12-2 now, Arizona in the Big 12, 11-3 Houston, a monster game between the number 4 team in the country and the number 2 team in the country, 73-66. Zona gets it done on the road.
Yeah, and Zona pretty much led from the opening tip in that game there. And it was, once again, just a terrible shooting game for Houston there at home. And, you know, now all of a sudden they're reeling here a little bit, and they're going to need to figure some things out. It's not the same stifling defense that they have had that we've come to know over the last couple of seasons with Houston. They still dominate the boards, but the shooting, unfortunately, just it wasn't there, and Arizona was able to take advantage of it.
You thought BYU was dead and buried, losing Richie Saunders. Not so fast. BYU upsets Iowa State, number 6 in the country, 79-69. A.J. Dibansa, 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. Kid can play, man. He can.
Yeah, and again, what's Iowa State? Like, what version of you was that? That was just absolutely awful here. But give credit to BYU. They handled business, and really it was decided in the first half because they went in with a 9-point lead, BYU, and didn't give up. We know they're a second half team, but you just went down too many points, Iowa State. They didn't have enough to be able to stop BYU in the second half.
Looking forward to tonight's college basketball action. Not a lot of great games on the card. I should have said not a lot of volume, but they did give you 2 good ones. One at 7 o'clock, Joe. One at 9 o'clock tonight. First one up is Louisville and North Carolina in the ACC. Tempo is what Louisville is about. Number 1, an average length of possession on offense, which means they get after it here. How about this? 3-point shooting, about 36% as a team in conference play, going up against the worst defending 3-point team in conference play in the ACC, UNC. Will the 3 balls go down? But also, Louisville is on the road, but a slight favorite over the Tar Heels, -2.5, Joe.
Yeah, UNC would have bounced back against Syracuse on the road. And now they'll be home taking on Louisville. The problem with Louisville and Pat Kelsey is that they're 1-10 against top 25 teams. It's not great. The only team they've beaten, I think, was Clemson last year at home. But and listen, North Carolina still waiting to hopefully get back Caleb Wilson there, their stud. But they are going to they're going to need a big effort. And Louisville, I got to see it to believe it. Like, you got to win one of these games on the road against a tough opponent in a tough environment. Still feels like we're getting a ton of points in this game here tonight, though.
By the way, Michael Brown here, which we were waiting for him to come back, returned against Pittsburgh January 17th, Joe. His last 4 games, 45 points, 29, 29, and 19 here. That kid gets it going here, certainly from three-point range, can be devastating. By the way, he had one game, Joe, where he scored that 45 points, 10 of 16 from three-point range. Daggers all over the place. Houston going to take on Kansas tonight. Houston looking for a bounce back, as we just told you, lost to Arizona over the weekend. And Kansas, what did they do versus Cincinnati? Not even show up. Houston is the road favorite at -2.5. Joe, who do you trust more tonight, Houston or Kansas?
I mean, impossible situation for both, Donnie. If you're a situational handicapper and you're looking like, all right, the chance of Kansas losing 2 in a row at Fog Allen, not to mention Bill Self is undefeated at home when he plays these big Monday games. He's 40-0. But Houston didn't win their last game, Donnie, as we said. They right now have a chance of losing 3 in a row if they don't get it done here tonight. They have only lost 5 games in their entire existence in the Big 12. So it's you want to talk about 2 terrible situations. Somebody is going to break a record here tonight. I tend to think Houston will get it done here.
I need to see what I'm going to get out of Darren Peterson tonight as well. It's going to be full game dominant. He should be the number 1 player, or you can't trust this guy doesn't want to play anymore, because Houston comes to town in the Big 12 with the most efficient offense and the number 2 most efficient defense here. The one thing they do well, winning basketball, Joe, always starts with protecting the basketball and turning your opponent over. How about this? Houston in conference play, number 1 at protecting the basketball, only 11% turnover rate. But how about defensively? Number 1 in conference play at turning it over at close to 19%. Defense travels, taking care of the basketball is exactly the way you win. Be a fun game to watch tonight. And as we pointed out, not great efforts over the weekend, but particularly Cincinnati going into town and crushing Kansas. How do they bounce back tonight? Well, we'll find out. It is a big Monday. But also, you know, we're going to find out some best bets coming up next in the next segment. That's how we get down on a Monday edition of the Early Line right on the Sports Grid Network. We'll be back.
Obviously, I wanted to play golf. Like, I grew up in England. I came to America on a scholarship because my aspiration was to play the European Tour. And then once I got to America, it was like the PGA Tour. And I think I'd always had kind of this affinity for like the swing and coaching and teaching, and tinkering is probably the best way to say it. I'd say that's probably, which is a dangerous road to go, right?
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Louis's defense, the best in conference play, which includes the best 3-point shooting percentage against and also 2-point shooting percentage against. You take a look at Loyola's offense, we pointed out to you the worst in conference play, and also they turn the basketball over 22% of the time, which basically means 1 out of every 4 times up the court, Joe, they don't even get a shot off. They're going to get their doors blown off tonight.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
The level of hockey is being played. Like, if you're not really into the NHL, you should watch this and you will enjoy it. Like, it's a different level of hockey. Like, The NHL, basically, there's like 6 really good guys on each team. And in the Olympics, like every guy is good. Like it's next level. It's something to behold.
Winter Games Central, only on SportsGrid.
Final segment of the day right here on the early line. Boy, Donnie right side along with Joe Ranieri. The hot topics never stop, including in this final segment from Front Office Sports. Joe, did you catch this tweet? John Rahm's 2027 Ryder Cup eligibility is in jeopardy after he was omitted from the list of players granted conditional releases. The Live Golf star has reportedly declined to pay $3 million in DP World Tour fines related to unapproved events here. Uh-oh, no Ryder Cup for Rami?
Oh, boy. There he goes. I don't think he cares one way or the other myself, but he does have to keep collecting that check, I believe, from Liv for another season before he can actually make the trek back to the PGA Tour, which is eventually what he'll be doing one way or the other. All that stuff has a way of ironing itself out before the next Ryder Cup anyway, Donnie.
By the way, this next story I think is interesting, and I do think it is absolutely right. If you're looking to play, let's just say college football, get an NIL or excel in college. The reason it is, how about this from the Wall Street Journal? Boy athletes are repeating 8th grade in a holdback year to grow ahead of recruitment for college NIL packages potentially worth millions, Joe. When we were growing up, a lot of people and families would just get you started in school as soon as you were eligible to do that. So you graduate school at 17 years old, and you say, like, wow, boy, if I would have played one more year of high school football at 18 years old, how good could I have been? Well, that's what's starting to turn up now. Not starting your kids on time in school or early isn't making the most sense. Another year of maturity, another year of getting bigger or stronger from 17 to 18 could mean the difference, Joe, and you playing college football, college basketball, college baseball, or you not actually starting as a varsity because the other kid is way older than you and you just can't compete, Joe.
Crazy, right, Donnie? I mean, it really is. It's anything to gain an edge these days, right? And it's just, you're going to see more and more of that unless again, they didn't do a great job of thinking this all the way through and the ramifications that trickle down. But this is going to be one of those byproducts here, is you're going to have kids that are just, start school a little bit late here, so we're good to go by the time we get into 8th grade.
Exactly, because you can't. I guess can you repeat like in high school, but then I guess you would have to be failing. So I think the last eligible time would be do it in 8th grade for just like he's not emotionally ready. They can use that excuse and hold him back for an extra year. Is what it is. Parents using everything to their ability to get their kid that college education paid for, not by them, but by the school itself. Let's get over to hear what the people want today, Joe. You just take a look at the public and say, you know what? What are you asking for today? Our Fade the Public poll through @SportsGrid. Will the WNBA have a season this year? 2 choices. Yes. The other choice, not looking so good. No surprise, Joe, live. 78% of the people not looking so good here. But hold on. Do we have multiple questions today, Joe? What am I looking at here? Is there multiple questions?
Well, I think it's the UConn, I think. I think you got UConn up there as who's going to win the college national championship on the women's side. And we mentioned it earlier, Donnie. No way I'm betting against UConn and Gino. It's just not happening.
Like, see how this usually works, Joe, where we say one of them is hashtag Kalshi, the other one is not. Nobody decided to hashtag anything. So we got the double for the people. WNBA not looking so good. UConn's going to win it go, and away we do it, Joe. But now it's time for some of those best bets out here with our buy bets. I'm going to give you the floor, Joe. Since you don't have any snow, you take it away.
Interesting stuff here, Donnie. I got to tell you, not a lot of games in the NBA or college, but the ones that we do have are actually pretty good. And in the NBA, there's only one game worth watching tonight, and that's going to be San Antonio taking on Detroit. And we're starting to see a little bit of love here for San Antonio. One's popping up here in the market. But when you look at these two teams, in the month of February, Detroit has lost 1 game. San Antonio has not lost a game. Both of these teams have been absolutely red hot here, but I think home court matters in this spot here. This is a big game for Detroit to kind of prove that, yes, not only are we the best in the East, but we are also very good here against the best that's coming out of the West. and I think San Antonio is one of the best out of the West. Cade Cunningham is the MVP of the league as far as I'm concerned. I'm going to take Detroit at home here tonight to get it done, Donnie.
By the way, I've been feasting on the NBA with teams that don't necessarily deserve to be competitive in games that nobody wants to bet, and it's been working out my favorite. But on Friday, I took the Portland Trailblazers. They got beat by 50 points by the Denver Nuggets. So looking for a bounce back tonight. I'm actually going to go tonight, Joe, with the Sacramento Kings on the road. Bad basketball team getting 4.5 points, same as the opening number, but only 35% of the tickets coming in on the Kings. We'll see if we can continue this strategy here post All-Star break, or is it just that some of those teams are just tanking so hard you can't even take them worth anything here? I'm going to take the Kings plus 4.5, Joe, on a Monday to get back on track. 2-0, I think we could do it tonight. I think we can.
I agree, Donnie. I'm with you there. It's ugly, but somebody's got to win it.
Show's over, people. Show's over. But the best part about this, Joe Bonnier and Donnie Rightside, we'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning for another early line.